This is just a little game.
But I can take some blood.
Please subscribe to our channel. The Halloween season is almost here, which means a hectic fall release schedule filled with horror looms just around the corner. Some of the year's biggest horror releases are still ahead, including The Nun 2, Saw X, The Exorcist, Believer, and Five Nights at Freddy's. Of course, they join countless movies already released these past 8 months. As always, many titles might have slipped through the cracks, despite being available to stream now. Whether you're looking to get ahead on curating Halloween watchlists or catching up on 2023 horror before the year is through, here are 2023 releases you can stream right now. Number 20. 65, watch on Netflix. A high-concept sci-fi effort from Scott Beck and Brian Woods, the writers behind A Quiet Place and writers/directors of Haunt. Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt star as the unlucky pair that find themselves on a hostile planet filled with creatures and obstacles. Driver takes his role seriously in this straightforward, polished sci-fi adventure filled with dinosaur mayhem. Number 19. Cocaine Bear, watch on Prime Video. A title like Cocaine Bear speaks for itself. It sums up the premise, but perhaps more importantly, it suggests an outrageous tone with energy to match. While drawing from the 1985 true crime account that left cocaine scattered across the wilderness and both a bear and the drug smuggler responsible dead, Cocaine Bear finds highly entertaining ways to fill in those story gaps with glorious violence, humor, and an incisive depiction of humanity at its best and worst. Number 18. Enys Men, watch on Hulu. In the spring of 1973, the volunteer spends each day on an uninhabited island of the British coast adhering to a specific routine. However, as the April days approach May, the volunteer's monotony gets upended by strange visions that increase with haunting regularity. The old, familiar adage defining insanity as doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result feels at home in writer and director Mark Jenkins' abstract folk horror feature. Number 17. Evil Dead Rise, watch on Max. Writer and director Lee Cronin transports the familiar franchise cabin setting to a Los Angeles high-rise apartment to plunge a family into dead-eyed hell. In Cronin's attempts to forge new ground, the filmmaker always retains sight of what makes an Evil Dead movie, well, Evil Dead. The filmmaker pays tribute to the features that came before through iconic camera work, quotable lines, hero shots, beloved weaponry, and an admirable commitment to spilling the most blood possible. But it's Alyssa Sutherland's absolutely demented performance as the central deadite foe that steals the movie. Number 16. Family Dinner, watch on Screambox. Writer and director Peter Hengel's feature debut combines the discomfort and cringe of awkward family dynamics at the dinner table with Easter holiday folk horror. 15-year-old Simi arrives at her Aunt Claudia's house just before Easter, hoping to get her aunt's help to lose weight. Aunt Claudia's strict caloric restrictions become the least of Simi's problems when Claudia's family starts to behave strangely. Easter brings the slow-simmering folk horror to a roaring boil. Fraught psychological dread explodes in violence. Number 15. Ghastly Brothers, watch on Screambox. It's Ghostbusters meets Beetlejuice in this gateway horror comedy. In the Screambox exclusive, Lilith is sent to boarding school where she meets the Ghastly Brothers, a pair of strange ghost hunters. Together, they need to rid the school of the demons who have made it their home. Come for the charming gateway horror fun, but stay for the horror references and nods, including a cameo from Cub director Jonas Govertz. Number 14. Holy Shit, watch on Screambox. There's something extra intense about claustrophobic, single-location thrillers, and this one will leave you shouting, "Holy shit." Lucas Rinker's bonkers black comedy sees an architect locked inside a portable toilet at a construction site that's equipped to detonate. Expect things to get more than a little weird. Number 13. Hughes Era, The Bone Woman, watch on AMC Plus, Shudder. When so many pregnancy horror movies isolate the mother-to-be, breeding mistrust from everyone around her, Hughes Era internalizes it. Refreshingly, it's less about motherhood and more about the loss of self. Director Michelle Garza Cervera, who co-wrote with Abia Castillo, repurposes a Mexican folktale for a modern tale of maternal fears. Cervera uses the Hughes Era to create unsettling moments that build tangible dread and suspense. More prominent than the atmosphere, though, is how the haunting figure is employed to crack open main character Valeria's psyche and expose repressed emotions and anxieties. Number 12. Kids vs. Aliens, watch on AMC Plus, Shudder. In Kids vs. Aliens, produced by Bloody Disgusting, Cinepocalypse, and Studio 71, Gary wants to make wrestling home movies with his best buds. Gary's annoyed that his older sister, Samantha, wants to skip their wrestling fun to hang with the cool kids. When the siblings' parents head out of town on Halloween weekend, a teen house party turns to terror when aliens attack, forcing the siblings to band together to survive the night. Prepare to cheer, fuck space. Number 11. Knock at the Cabin, watch on Prime Video. M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin adapts author Paul Tremblay's Cabin at the End of the World, a grim novel that asks the impossible of its characters with no painless solution. The deceptive simplicity of the source material gives way to existential, moral conundrums in the face of a potential apocalypse. Shyamalan gives his spin on the story, injecting recurring themes of faith and optimism. In other words, expect a vastly different outcome from the source material. Number 10. Megan, watch on Prime Video. Megan reunited producer James Wan and screenwriter Akela Cooper, responsible for 2021's highly entertaining Malignant, and put Housebound's Gerard Johnstone at the helm. It resulted in a murderous killer doll with style and dance moves, ensuring the year kicked off with a memeable horror comedy that had everyone talking. Number 9. Project Wolf Hunting, watch on Hi-Ya, Screambox. Don't miss the splatterfest that plays like Con Air meets Jason Takes Manhattan and Predator. In the film, during transport from the Philippines to South Korea, a group of dangerous criminals unites to stage a coordinated escape attempt. As the jailbreak escalates into a bloody, all-out riot, the fugitives and their allies from the outside exact a brutal terror campaign against the special agents on board the ship. Truly, it's one of the year's goriest films. Number 8. Renfield, watch on Peacock. Director Chris McKay and writer Ryan Ridley bring Universal classic characters Dracula and Renfield into the modern world for a horror comedy about a toxic relationship between a megalomaniac and his bug-eating servant. McKay unleashes the gore and laughs in spades in his tribute to these classic characters. Number 7. Scream 6, watch on Paramount Plus. Directors Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett continue their streak of hitting that perfect blend of suspenseful thrills and biting humor. Here the filmmakers up the ante, delivering inventive, edge-of-your-seat set pieces that showcase the urban setting and how savage Ghostface is this round. The kills are merciless and visceral, and the chase sequences are impressive and plentiful. It's also surprising how the sequel engages with Scream 2 in plot and theme. Dense arcs and themes aside, Bettinelli-Olpin and Gillett ensure that you'll never want for entertainment here. It's a bloody feast for the slasher fan. Number 6. Sick, watch on Peacock. It's hard to believe that 2023 began with a Friday the 13th debut for this timely slasher, written by Kevin Williamson and Caitlin Crabb. John Hyams directed the pandemic set story that sees two best friends fight for their lives when masked invaders crash their quarantine home. Look for callbacks to Williamson's previous works and a breathless commitment to suspenseful chase sequences. Number 5. The Outwaters, watch on Plex, Roku Channel, Screambox, Tubi. Despite a familiar initial setup, there's nothing conventional about found footage nightmare The Outwaters. Nothing will prepare you for the disturbing journey writer and director Robbie Banfitch has in store either. Banfitch mercilessly lulls viewers with a soothing intro before ripping open a dark abyss beneath them, flinging them into an immersive pit of visceral madness. Number 4. Unwelcome, watch on AMC Plus, Shudder. Grabber's director John Wright's latest blends modernism with Irish mythology. Described in a pitch as Gremlins meets Straw Dogs, Unwelcome introduces the Far Darrig, tiny bloodthirsty fae also dubbed Redcaps for their signature red hats. While the early home invasion setup might polarize, the third act goes big on creature feature carnage. Number 3. We Have a Ghost, watch on Netflix. Writer and director Christopher Landon evokes the family-friendly Amblin movies of yesterday for his latest. Wearing its formative gateway horror influences on its sleeves, We Have a Ghost blends nostalgic family adventure-induced charm with Landon's distinct ability to render authentic characters to an affecting degree. While it threatens to overstay its welcome, the tender adventure delivers ghostly charm, poignant family bonds, and humor that'll appeal to new generations of budding genre fans. Number 2. We Might Hurt Each Other, watch on Screambox. Lithuania's first slasher pays tribute to the golden age of the subgenre while infusing an influence from Eastern European folklore. It follows a group of students that find trouble post-graduation when they destroy local folk art. A quick pace, excellent cinematography, surprise turns, and gruesome kills make for a welcome slasher entry. Number 1. Infinity Pool, watch on Hulu. Writer and director Brandon Cronenberg returns to the deep well of surreal, grotesque sci-fi horror for his latest. It sees James Foster thrown into the deep end of depravity when fellow affluent tourists teach him a loophole to avoid punishment for crimes. It's not just the shocking escalation or Cronenberg's approach that keeps Infinity Pool so engaging and occasionally repulsive, but the committed performances by Skarsgård and co-star Mia Goth. The increasingly complex layers added to James and Gabby reveal there's far more to Infinity Pool than simply the rich eating the rich. Cronenberg's sense of style, an unrelenting sense of dread and tension, and two utterly captivating, depraved leads ensure these provocative waters are worth wading into. So that's 20 movie horror 2023 releases you can stream right now. I hope you like this video. Please leave a comment and subscribe to this channel. See you in another video. Bye.